Welcome back, everyone, to Star Wars Abridged. And today we will be going over chapters 4 and 5 of Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi. Chapter 4 is very, very short, and chapter 5 is pretty short as well, so thought we would just combine those into the same video instead of having two videos that are just very short. In the first three chapters of this book, we met a few people and they died at the end of their respective chapters. And then in chapter 3, we learned that the Jedi are getting involved with what's going on in Hetzal Prime and that they're here to help. So we will see exactly what happens with that here in chapter 4, and we'll go ahead and get into that. But before we do, make sure that you are subscribed and leave a like if you enjoy this video. But let's go ahead and get into chapter 4. So, chapter 4 takes place from that omniscient point of view that we saw a little bit in chapter 3. It takes place on a Republic emissary cruiser called the Third Horizon, and the subheading tells us that there is only 90 minutes to impact. We still don't know what this is that is incoming, but we know it's getting closer. So the chapter starts by saying a vessel appears in the Hetzal system. It is called the Third Horizon, and it is a Republic emissary ship, and it is just beautiful. It says that it really represents the state of the Republic at this time, and the way they feel about things. There's no flaws, it's very smooth and expensive, and just absolutely gorgeous, and it costs a lot of money, but the Republic doesn't care to spend that money. It then says that along with the Third Horizon comes other smaller ships. There are Jedi Order ships called Vectors that are big enough to hold just a Master and a Padawan, but sometimes Jedi elect to ride on their own. Sometimes they want to bring their Padawans with them, but there's room enough for two people in these Vector ships. And there are also ships called Long Beams, which are able to perform duties in combat such as search and rescue and troop transport, and these Long Beam ships can hold up to 24 people. It says that the vectors and long beams each go in different directions, meaning they are given a different location or mission to attend to on Hetzal Prime, but the overall goal is just to provide aid to the entire Hetzal system. There's a lot of people suffering from whatever this is that is coming onto the planet and causing all this destruction, and people all over the system just need help, and that's what these vectors and long beams are for, to transport people to help. Then the chapter takes us inside the bridge of the Third Horizon, where we meet Jedi Master Avar Kriss. It tells us that this entire rescue operation is hers, and that a man named Kronara is in command of the Third Horizon. It then gives us a tidbit of information that says the Republic and the Jedi each have their own strengths, and that they combine them to bring the best possible alliance to the people of the galaxy. This is sort of the same deal that we see in the prequel trilogy, except by the end of that trilogy, we see that the relationship between the Republic and the Jedi ultimately falls through, obviously, but at this point in the galaxy, they have a pretty good system going. They're like, the Jedi are good at this, the Republic is good at other things. Let's just combine and bring peace to the galaxy. The rest of this chapter then goes into detail describing Avar Kriss's lightsaber, but then it says that she will not need it for this mission. The people in the Hetzal system, they don't need weaponry, they don't need the lightsaber, they just need the Jedi themselves. Avar then goes into a meditation state for a moment and prepares herself to go down to the ground and really get into the action herself and lead this rescue mission. Then, at the end of the chapter, it says that she is only focused on the Force and what it is telling her to do. So that is the end of chapter 4, and we will go ahead and go into chapter 5, which starts with the subheading that says we are still on Hetzal Prime, but now there is only 80 minutes to impact, so we went from 90 minutes to 80 minutes. So, whatever this is, it is getting closer and closer, and it's going to happen sooner or later. So this chapter starts out by introducing us to a new character, an 18-year-old Jedi Padawan named Bel Zettifar. Bel is currently aboard one of those Jedi vector ships that we mentioned in Chapter 4, but the ship's name is the Nova, and Bel is in the ship with his master, who is a Twi'lek named Loden Greatstorm. Bel and Greatstorm are currently flying into Hetzal Prime, looking to help the people of the planet in any way they can. It tells us that all of the Jedi that were on the Third Horizon are splitting up and going to different parts of the Hetzal system to help. And even though there's a lot of them and they're going to all these different places and splitting up, there's just too much to be done in too short of a time. They just don't think that they can get everything done and help all these people that need it, but they're going to try their best. So, this chapter takes place from Bel's point of view, and we see him thinking about the planet, about Hetzal Prime, and about their mission, which is just simply to provide help in literally any way that they can. Greatstorm, which once again is Bel's master, tells him that they're about to enter the upper atmosphere of Hetzal Prime, and Bel says that this is his favorite part of any of their missions like this. Bel then describes to himself how great of a pilot his master is, and how he really just admires the way that Greatstorm handles the Nova and how much different he utilizes it and handles it as opposed to other Jedi Masters. Whereas they kind of throw it around and use it as more of a tool, Greatstorm has this finesse that he really uses with it, and it really impresses Bel. He really admires that. So the Nova continues to descend closer to Hetzal Prime's surface, and Bel asks Greatstorm if Avar Kriss, who we learned in Chapter 4 is leading this operation, gave them any orders on where they need to go, like what part of the planet do they need to go to, where needs the most help. Greatstorm tells Bel that Avar left it up to them, that it's up to their own discretion, and then Bel asks his master how they will know where to go on a planet so big. Greatstorm uses this as a training opportunity for Bel, and he tells Bel to guide him and tell him where to go. Bel knows what he needs to do, so he just completely opens himself up to the Force. And Bel describes this to us as like an ever-burning fire that sometimes feels like a flame, sometimes feels like an inferno, and everything in between. It just depends. At this time, he uses the Force to feel the planet and feel the people on it. And he says that he can feel a lot of fear and a lot of pain. And he is kind of able to experience the emotions that these people on Hetzal Prime are feeling. However, he eventually ends up feeling something different than those just raw emotions. And he comes up with a place that they need to go. He kind of locates where this feeling that he's getting is originating from, and it's somewhere east. So he tells Greatstorm, we need to go east, and Greatstorm starts piloting the Nova in that direction. This whole time, Bel is still tapped into the Force and guiding them toward whatever he's feeling. So he lets Greatstorm know when they are directly above whatever this is, and Greatstorm starts to let the ship descend toward the ground. When they get closer to the ground, Bel can see a compound with giant walls surrounding it, and there are tons of people all around the outside of these walls. And Bel sees that there's a yacht-style ship inside, so that's the reason for the crowd. They think that this ship is their way off the planet, especially because it can hold hundreds of people potentially. However, there are also armed guards at the walls of this compound, keeping people from going inside, and the tensions start to rise. The guards even let off some warning shots, and Bel asks Greatstorm, he's like, why are they not letting these people in? That could help them, that could get them off-world. Greatstorm tells Bel that he doesn't know, but that's their purpose for being there. They're going to find out, and he tells Bel that he will see him on the ground, and then he jumps out of the vector ship. And with that, that wraps up chapters 4 and 5 of Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi. We're really about to start getting into the meat of this book. Here at this beginning, we've just been thrown into the galaxy and this just tragedy that's happening everywhere. And we've kind of found a home on Hetzal Prime. We're starting to meet people that are reoccurring characters in chapters and that we will be spending a lot more time with and seeing how this tragedy is affecting them. But I hope you're enjoying the book so far. It only gets better from here, in my opinion. And as always, I thank you for listening. Make sure that you are subscribed and leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. And if you're interested in checking out an abridged version of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire, I will have that playlist linked up at the top of this video. But thank you for listening, and as always, may the Force be with you.